great question. It's both, right? Because health insurance is the vehicle by which people access healthcare. So for
Mm.
me, it comes from a young age experiencing how expensive healthcare can be. I was reading this statistic the other day that for the average family, the cost of the average family in the U.S., the cost of health insurance is about $20,000, and that is the equivalent of an economy car. But in
Yeah.
difference to a car, you don't get to keep your health insurance next year, and neither does it stay the same. It just continues to go up and up and up. And the system, the way it is built or the way it is structured, it doesn't reward people or it doesn't give people
Yeah.
the tools to be consumers. So that's why I really was motivated and passionate about the work that I do, because this doesn't just impact the person, it impacts their spouse and their children and their long-term health. If they're able to have sustainable and affordable health insurance and get the health care they need, then that prevents health risks from becoming worse. And that prevents many other issues that come along the way. So that's what motivates me every day, is understanding that truly, our health is our wealth. And the more we have it, the more we can give to the people around us and build communities of empowerment.
And it's this, and I love how you mentioned it because the importance of that. I think sometimes collectively we're forgetting that. Well, I have insurance, you don't have insurance. Tough for you.
Mm.
But maybe we need to go beyond ourselves, right? And then even sometimes beyond our family, beyond our community. We may need to look at it more as a state, more as a country, and as you mentioned, as wealth. Isn't part of our wealth based on the wealth, the health of our country.
Mm.
So if you have a country of a bunch of tired, broken down, ill people collectively, how do we look to the world as a country? So you're right. It needs to be looked upon as to not, it's not just me paying, being able to pay for my insurance. Can Francisco pay? Can John pay? Can Lisa pay? And then see where we can make some changes. I'm sure some people are, well, you can't pay insurance for everyone. I don't think this is what the conversation is about. The conversation is about trying to find a way to help support everyone in a way that at least the basics, right? The bare minimums are taken care of
Exactly.
as a country.
Exactly. Because I was reading, I think 80% of medical conditions can be reversed through lifestyle alone, and those being like heart disease and cardiovascular, because
Hmm.
all of that comes down to our lifestyle. But a lot of people aren't giving the resources or the actual knowledge that they can use
Mm.
to really improve their health. So what you're saying resonates with me, because it's exactly what you're saying. It's going back to basics. It's understanding how what I eat and what I do and how I exercise and how my life contributes to my long-term health.
Wow. And so you share this with organizations of how to implement health programs and
Exactly
help.
that. Because ultimately, once a person gets medical care or service or treatment, then it just becomes negotiating the bill between the provider. But what if we can take a step back and prevent that health risk from escalating, right? Not just
Mm.
the current, but the potential health risks. And that's where we can have a long-term impact.
Well, not on, interestingly, how does that impact the organization if your employees are healthy and
Mhm.
or it being supported by the organization that they're helping with their bottom line? How have you seen that make an impact?
It's kind of twofold for the organization. Healthcare is their number one or number two expense, and for many organizations, it's challenging to see the value, because if every year you're paying more and more and more and getting less and less benefits, and you're saying, as an organization, or what am I paying for if ultimately my employees also have to pay more and they get less? On the employee side, that's the most tangible representation that a company cares for you, that you're offered health insurance, but health insurance that is really robust, and that you can get preventive care, and that you can get the different things that you need to live a healthy life. So it's a twofold thing in that healthcare and health insurance is, one, can be an asset to a company, and two, it can be a way of showing that your employees are your greatest asset. But kind of how we've been talking about throughout the conversation, it kind of starts by taking an outside perspective and saying, this can be done better. Who can I partner with to make this a reality? Instead of saying,
Mhm.
I'm just going to take this course of action because it's what we've done the past 5-10 years.
So it's interesting how that brings it back to people are our greatest assets, and so adding value. So if you're an organization and you're adding value to the people, they're going to be grateful for that, and I can see how that can have a ripple effect of positive benefit to the bottom line of that organization, the stability of it, the solvency of it, and really making it, to taking it to the next level, whatever that those results are, whatever the results that they're looking to accomplish.
Definitely for many. And I've seen the statistics that for a lot of employees, yes, salary is important, but the number one consideration for staying or moving jobs is health insurance, which is
Mm.
amazing to think, because a lot of people realize that a lot of unexpected expenses will come from healthcare. So that's also part of the equation.
Wow. So what makes it different from what it is that you're offering versus, convention, typical insurance company?
Definitely. So for many insurance companies, the way it works is you have a set deductible, right? Let's walk through an example. So the every single employee can get a deductible of $5,000. But with our plan, every employee will get that plan, but they have the ability to lower their deductible based on a basic biometric blood screening. And what we've
Mm.
done is we work with the organization to tie dollar incentives to each biomarker. So it's 5 biomarkers, but just to mention a few, it's like tobacco use, BMI, cholesterol, because all these factors are controllable through our lifestyle. So then one person, could get 2 biomarkers, so their deductible would go from 5,000 to 3,000, or another
Mm.
person can get one deductible, so their deductible goes from 5,000 to 4,000. But what that does is that incentivizes people to make the right choice who are in the optimal health range, but also the people who have been living healthy for a lot of their lives, they feel rewarded for what they've done. And what we do after that is we give them access to one-on-one health coaches and functional medicine doctors at no additional cost to the employee. So to help them understand what does this biometric blood screening mean? What does all of these biomarkers mean? And what can I do to improve my health? So it's really flipping it on its head by making someone a consumer of their care, and knowledgeable about what is going on inside their body.
So if you had to compare it with, let's say, the main insurance organizations there, because usually they may say if one person to a small company to a major company, do you find that most of the clients are smaller local businesses with a team of 10, 5 to 10 people, or this is a program that's better for those with 50 or more employees?
Typically, because of how health insurance works, because in this program, the person, the entity that finances it is the employer. So typically it works for organizations that are 50 employees or higher, just because they are the ones who are responsible for the financing of the health plan of health insurance. And there are companies below 50 who can do it, but it depends, that's where a lot of factors come in, such as the composition of the workforce and the demographics and all those different elements that we have to take into account. Because ultimately, yes, we have this plan and this is what we do, but I think what matters most is really being a true strategic partner and saying, this may not be the time for you to implement this, but here are some solutions that you can do to help you get to where you want to go. And I think that's so important because people value when you're honest and when you're transparent, and that will play out in life and in business and will pay off in more ways than you can ever imagine.
Wow. So, there's the big word now is pre-existing condition. Pre-existing condition. How does that impact the way this business model for this insurance, process called concept? How does that impact that, those who are in the pre-existing? There's some things that possibly are not able to change per se. What do you tell the organization's leader?